we talk about, specific patterns in highly successful individuals, right? So another pattern that I recognize, I discovered in these individuals on how they manage time, right? And how they manage productivity. And then again, it's a pattern that I recognize. They prioritize how they manage time, right? So a key practice that I've discovered from them that I do, right? I use, anything I tell, basically I practice them myself. I'm not just saying because, I think it's a good idea. I practice them and get results from it. So that's what I'm repeating them with you. So one of the main things that I've discovered that really helps me complete my work and be productive is essentially write down all the activities, tasks that I need to do in my life in one place, right? Because I know, when we have, especially about 5 projects, right? Your task will be in 5 different sheets. But what I recommend you do is that you bring all the tasks, basically running checklist of things that you're doing, that you're checking off. Okay, you need to pay this bill, you need to do this task, you need to do this. So basically, list of items that you need to do, and keeping that item continually updated, and making sure that you're finishing things up on that is a very important practice. And I know many people have all their tasks and all the activities in their head, and this can always lead into a lot of overwhelm and anxiety naturally, right? So imagine you have about 5 projects and you have to remember like 30 tasks on each of them. That's a lot of work. That's unnecessary. You don't need to do that. So what I recommend you do instead is you bring all the tasks into one place, and then you start chipping away at them as much as you can. And some of them, sometimes it might feel overwhelming because the amount of things you need to do, but at least everything is one place, right? So that's one of the main things that I recommend you do to make it easier. Don't keep it in your head. Keep it on, ideally, spreadsheet, Google Sheets. I use Google Sheets. I just use everything in one place, and then I check them off as I complete my tasks that I need to do. Okay, so that's what I recommend you do. And then you can also, obviously order them based on urgency and importance, right? So basically, if you're using Google Sheet, you can literally drag and drop the row, based on the level of importance in it is needed. Okay, and then blocking time, right? This is something, a practice that really helps in terms of managing your time. So basically, once you have created your task and ordered your task in your urgency and important, now it's time to basically block time in your calendar to finish them off, right? So if you don't take time to like complete them, it's no point that you spend all that time organizing it. So block time to put it on your calendar to complete them, and then check them off as you complete them. And then make sure that you don't also get, like, you don't work on multiple tasks at the time, right? So that's a good way to also get distracted and lose focus and not stay motivated. Multitasking. So when you're working and set the task, make sure that you set it as, don't work on multiple things, or watch, go take a look at your Facebook while you're working on, just get it done and move on. Like, even if you're applicable, if you're working or if you're studying for exam, right? If you're working on your own projects, it's the same thing, right? So it's a practice that needs to be developed. Okay. And another main thing is that set a clear objective for each work session, right? So for each time that you block in your calendar, make sure that you know what you're going to complete by the time you're done. And many people say, I'm just going to study, or I'm just going to work. I don't think that's a good practice. What you should do instead is that if you're studying, I'm going to focus on completing chapter 2, right? If you're working on a report or for work, you say, I'm going to focus on finishing this report. So mentality of completion and finishing is actually needed when you're working on objectives. If you just say, I'm just going to work on it, you will work on it endlessly, and the projects and tasks can take a lot of time. So to reverse that, the best is like, no, my good job, I'm allocated 90 minutes to do this. My job is to finish in that 90 minutes as best of my ability. If you cannot finish it, no problem. Create another 30 minutes or 90 minutes or whatever you need to finish that activity you need. But mentality you should take to every objective: completion. Okay. Hopefully that makes sense what I'm referring to specifically. Okay, great, fantastic. So Another point is like, plan the day and the week in advance, right? Again, it helps you to kind of keep in track and keep yourself organized. It becomes even more important, easier to do if you have identified your goals, 5 goals, and then you have identified your tasks, right? So then it becomes a lot more easier to advance your plan your week, right? Like new work, like I said, new quarter is coming, right? 2 weeks are coming for you. So what are you going to do each of the week, right? That's one of the things I did. Like, think of your life as, university. So, new quarter or new semester is coming. So what are you planning to accomplish in the new quarter or new semester? What courses are you taking, right? In other words, what courses of actions, what projects are you taking, are you finishing in the next 90 days? So that's a good way to kind of position that, and then plan out what are you going to do in the next 90 days, next 12 weeks or so. Okay, so that's what I would recommend. And we talk about, avoid multitasking, not a useful practice if you want to improve your performance. You want to make sure that you focus on one task at a time. And then Pomodoro technique can help you get started. Essentially what it is essentially you keep a timer for 25 minutes, and then you focus on completing the task in that 25 minutes. So it's just basically a time management technique that you can use. So you 25 minutes you work, 5 minutes you break, 25 minutes you work, 5 minutes you break, and you can go up until your work is essentially pretty much done. You can use that technique. Okay.